This video will be showing you how to install Dictionary App Builder and the other pieces that come with it. So the first thing you're going to need to do is open up software.sil.org/dictionary app builder, and you're going to need to go to resources. And here you will find the installation instructions. You're going to want to go ahead and download that, because even though I'm going to give you a slightly different process, we'll be using this file for a base. While you're at it, you can also go to download and download the current version of Dictionary App Builder. Okay, so installing JDK, SDK, and DAB. It's a lot of letters. So Dictionary App Builder requires a lot of files to run and build an app, to run itself and build an app. So we're going to be installing first a Java development kit called Azul Zulu. And you need this Java environment so that Dictionary App Builder can run itself. Then, since we're focusing on an Android app right now, we're going to install the minimum version of the Android Service Development Kit. That's rather large, but we're going to be getting that. And of course, we're going to install Dictionary App Builder itself, and along the way, we're going to verify some settings. So as I've said, you should go ahead and download this file, because that's going to link you to the latest versions of each of the pieces of software that we're going to do. The existing document is a bit of a choose your own adventure path, so we're going to try and simplify it down to the most basic steps possible. But if my process doesn't work, go back to that document, because it is the most up to date. So one of the first things we need to do is we need to install the Java development kit. And so that is on page 5 of the document. And you're going to go install Azul Zulu. And most likely, you're going to want to download the 64-bit version unless you're on a very old machine. And so you will just follow the instructions and links and download the 64-bit version and install it. One note, when this workshop was originally recorded, we were using Amazon Corretto instead of Azul Zulu. But there are at least some previews that work better with Zulu than they did with Corretto. So Zulu is currently the recommended Java development kit. So if you haven't done so already, go ahead and install that and come back to the video. The next thing that we need is the Android SDK. Now, if someone else in your area has already set up the SDK folder for any of the app builders, Dictionary App Builder, Reading, Scripture, or Keyboard, then you can just go to their machine, with their permission, of course, and copy off the SDK folder that they have from their machine, put it on a flash drive, bring it to your machine, and copy it to C Drive SDK. If you are by yourself or don't have anyone near you that has the SDK files, then you're going to continue with the steps that I'm about to show you. So the first thing you need to do is create an empty folder on your C drive. I recommend C Drive SDK, but if you have a preference as to where you want to put it, you can put it somewhere else. I wouldn't recommend putting it in your documents folder, for example. And you're going to want to go and download the basic SDK command line tools. The link for that is on page 7 of the guide. When you open up that file, it's a zip file, you're going to notice that there is a command line tools folder. So you're going to take that command line tools folder and drag it into C Drive SDK. But we can't stop there. We have to rename it from command line tools. That's what shortened version is. We're going to rename it to tools. So once you have renamed command line tools to tools, if you look at your SDK folder on your computer, this is what it will look like. It will have inside the SDK folder itself, underneath that, tools. Underneath that, bin and lib are some of the subfolders. So now we're ready to install Dictionary App Builder. I'm going to note here that if the JDK asked you to restart, then you should probably have done that before you install Dictionary App Builder. It may or may not, depending on your system configuration, but you can go to software.sil.org, Dictionary App Builder, and download it if you haven't done that already. Once you've installed, the installation process is just next, 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 okay, finish. Then you will open up Dictionary App Builder and we need to go to Tools Settings. And if we go to the Code Library tab, you should see that it has found Zulu successfully. If not, then you can browse to find where you installed Zulu, probably C drive, program files, Zulu, something like that. It actually recommends it there in the menu settings. Now we're going to move over to the Android SDK tab, as you can see here. And the first thing you're going to need to do is go to Browse, and then you're going to choose C drive SDK or wherever you put the file. Once you've done that, you'll notice that Tools should have turned green. That means that it has found tools, but all the other things, build tools, platform API, have not been found yet. So if you're connected to the internet and you've got about 500 megs of download that you can do today, go ahead and click on the Install Packages button and just wait. Once it is done with the process, you'll see lots of black screens pop up and go away, pop up and go away. But in the end, you will see this. So tools will turn green, build tools will turn green, platform API will turn green, and the numbers may differ from the ones I have here. Those are changing every time Android does a new release, and so it could be different than mine, but as long as it's green, it should be at least high enough to be able to build your app. So you should be ready to go with the tool. So afterwards, your SDK folder will look like the image on the right. So now we have the add-ons folder, build tools, licenses, platforms, platform tools, and tools. And of course, there's some other folders that have been added under tools. So if you've gotten this far, your Dictionary App Builder should be ready for this course. And actually, if you were to install any of the other app builders and make sure that you've done a similar configuration, you shouldn't have to re-download all of the SDK files again. Then you should be ready for any of the app builders. So make sure you have a dictionary in Flex, or we say ready for the next parts of the course. Thank you.